Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, two blokes chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. Of travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Mooloolaba, Nambour, Roochdore, Kilmore, Marillaba, Birdsville, Emmaville, Wallaville, Connemara, Connemara, Strathround, Proserpine, Ulladulla, Darwin, Gingin, Lillaquen, Muckdilla, Wallumbilla, Bougainville, Cumberland, Ramekiller. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man.
It is 13 and a half minutes to 11 o'clock on 94.7 The Pulse. This is the Two Blokes Chatting radio show, and this is Regional Roundup, and this is our opportunity to visit Pimpinio. How did I do, Kirsty Daniel? Oh, hang on. I'll try again. Now I'll turn the volume up. Try again.
You did really well. Pronounced it correctly. Thank you.
I have been sitting at home all last night going Pimpinio, 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 Pimpinio. Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show. I'm sorry I spoilt that by not having you switched on the desk. Well, obvious question for those who have never heard of the place and can't pronounce it. Where is Pimpinio?
Pimpinio is located between Horsham and Dimboola, so about right in the middle. 12 k's from Horsham, 14 k's from Dimboola on the Western Highway.
A famous little place. I don't know whether your paths crossed, but there was a gentleman I played football with back in the 80s who got a teaching appointment up at Horsham, and he was going to be involved in a footy club. And they said, well, you got to go here, Horsham Demons, because they're just fantastic. And he said, no, I'm going to go to the worst team in the comp. Where are they? Pimpinio. And off he went there and carved out a career for himself.
Well, there you go. Yeah, who was it? You can remember
his name was Eddie Williamson.
Oh, Eddie taught me.
There you go.
There you go.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Just as well we didn't start.
Yes, we did play out here.
Just as well we didn't start by saying. And when you went to school, did you have a? Pimpinio is what would be best described as a small settlement on the Western Highway. Is that fair?
Yes, and it always has been. It's never been. It's probably bigger now than it has been in a long time. Being 3 new houses built here in the last 12 months, so the population is expanding.
What do people do in Pimpinio? I guess they don't do a lot. They go down to Horsham, do they, mostly?
Well, Pimpinio itself is... I was chatting to my partner Jock about it last night. It is itself it's very much a tradie town. So there's 120 people live here in Pimpinio, and there are 6 builders in this town. All have their own businesses. So, come 7:30 in a morning at Pimpinio, the whole town is evacuated when they all go to work. So,
you can't get a coffee to save yourself at 25 to 8.
No, the town is empty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, listen, there's a few older retired people still live here, but most of the people that live here now are business people. They all own their own businesses, and this is just where their base is.
It'd be probably one of the few areas in that region that is not reliant on agriculture. Then, if it's builders, business folk, and retirees, you don't really care if the wheat grows or not.
Oh, we still do, because obviously the building has to have, farming in our area it's a cash flow for the horses. But yes, it was. I'd say 50 years ago, it was very much reliant on farming. But yeah, a lot of these farming families now, the farms are getting bigger, and the next generation, they've all gone out and got trades.
There'll be people. Sorry, there'll be people listening to this who live in Geelong. We hope, and there'll be some up the road in Melbourne who would say, "Oh, moving to Horsham, that's in the middle of nowhere. It's a tiny little town with nothing to offer." I suspect there would be people in Horsham who say, "Look, Horsham's too big for me now. It's just getting too bustly. I'd like to move to a place like Pimpinio." Is that sort of where some of the growth's coming from?
Oh, absolutely. And the affordability. We've recently sold a house in town. When we built our new house, and it was a young family that bought our house because they could afford to. It was a big 4-bedroom home with 2 living areas, and for under $300,000 they could buy it.
Yeah.
In Horsham, you're looking at double that sort of amount. So that definitely is a lot of growth as well. But there is a pretty amazing community here with the Pimpinio Tigers is still there.
Are they still the worst football team in the district? Apparently they were in the mid-80s.
Listen, they went since then. They've won a handful of premierships, and then how football teams go, they hit a slump, and they're on the rise again now. We've got a really young team. And out of the district league, we're one of only the 2 clubs that are actually filling every site, which is pretty amazing for our little community. But it's sort of, there is definitely a real strong young community here. Lots of little people around. The bus stop is out the front of my house, and there's about 20 kids that jump on it.
Fair enough. To go into Horsham, presumably do their education.
Yeah, they go both ways. There's one bus that goes to Dimboola and there's one bus that goes to Horsham. The bus that goes to Horsham has double the number of kids on it. So, yeah, most kids go to Horsham.
And double the size of them, I suspect, as in they'd be the big kids, would they? There's no Dimboola High, is there?
Yeah, there is a Dimboola.
Oh, is there?
Dimboola. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but, yeah, most kids just head to Horsham. So, yeah.
And we often ask people what they do. I got a funny feeling you don't do your primary work activity in and around Horsham. You've got a different focus, I understand.
Yeah, I do, but I still. So I'm a marketing director for winery, but I was on the original work from home even before COVID. We moved and I have a little office here, and I do all of my work from my little office here in Pimpinio. It's a common, discussion. People, all the Zooms that I have, like, where are you at today, Kirsty? At Great Western, you're in Pimpinio. So I'm expanding the knowledge in the wine world where Pimpinio is.
So that'd be a fair old drive down to the Grampians region for you, would it, if you had to go down?
An hour. We
Okay.
can. So it's the Grampians itself. I can see the Grampians from here. I can see Arapalis as well from here, which is another range near Nadimuck. Both, we probably can get to the Grampians itself within probably 35, 40 minutes. Arapalis similar time, but Great Western, where I work out of, about an hour away.
It's a really pretty part of the world in a funny kind of way. It's flat and
see everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but the mountain ranges around coming into really give it some genuine character. And of course, at the height of the cropping season and a good year, when you've got the colours of the canola through all the wheat fields, it really is a beautiful part of the world. So although a drive through Pimpinio at this time of year when it's dry and miserable, you think, oh, why would you want to live here? But
right.
It really does have some character most of the time.
Yeah, we're also the gateway to the Little Desert National Park, which is just, so the Wimmera River is only probably 5-6 kilometres from Pimpinio itself, and just on the edge of that is the Little Desert National Park, which is very popular for motorbike riders, trail riders and four-wheel drive people. So, we quite often see trailer loads of motorbikes cut through and turn off.
And for those who are interested in their arts and crafts, I believe Dimboola is something of a haven these days.
Dimboola is amazing. I was actually up at Dimboola last night to hear Aboriginal lady speak. Dimboola itself is, it's on the river itself, and it is an amazing little town. Absolutely hive of activity, 7 days a week. Lots of new businesses opening up. I heard last night there's a new gin distillery opening up in there as well.
Oh, that's disappointing for you. You'd hate that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it'll be amazing. But yeah, Dimboola itself is another amazing little Wimmera town.
Kirsty, we normally ask the guests on this about COVID. For a long time in Geelong, we were concerned about it, but it was Melbourne's problem and we didn't really have any issue. Then it slowly started to creep in, and now everybody knows someone who has had COVID if they haven't had it themselves. Have you been secluded enough up there, or has it impacted on your life directly?
For the first 2 years, we felt very protected here. Our community is small. We definitely felt very safe here. But we did spend New Year's Eve in Robe, and our entire family came home with it. So, yes, we've all had it, and, yes, didn't succumb that badly to it. We've all been vaccinated, and 3 vaccinations. But yes, no, definitely the community itself was very protected during those first few years. But yes, I think the whole town's had it since then, so it's all good.
Do you remember back in the olden days, Robert, when you were a boy, that you'd go on holiday somewhere and you come back with a tea towel and a souvenir teaspoon? Yeah, you come back with COVID.
Changing world now.
Kirsty, we're going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. Thank you so much for being part of our regional roundup from Pimpinio. Look, that's 3 times now. That's all right. And yes, if people are looking for it, they get to Horsham, they keep driving past Firebrace Street, he said, knowing the main street of Horsham, and keep heading towards Adelaide, and you will see, my recollection is the footy oval on the left-hand side, am I right?
Yes, that's right.
I had a 50-50 chance, didn't I?
toot when you drive through town. It's yes, you fly down to 80 k's an hour, we'll hear you tooting.
Sounds because I've often heard that Pimpinio has a hoot.
And Kirsty, I will suss out young Eddie Williamson, and I'll tell him that you turned out good.
Oh, good, very good.
In fact, we'll even point him to the interview so he can find out for himself.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
Thank you.
Kirsty Daniel, thank you for being part of Regional Roundup.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Bye.
See ya.